What's up, guys? We are back for another NECA Toys review, taking a look today at a figure that I have really been looking forward to, something that's kind of kickstarting this line back again. So today we are taking a look at the latest Godzilla from NECA. We have got the King Kong Vs Godzilla version of Godzilla here, and this guy comes in a fantastic new box this time around. So previously all the Godzillas came in clamshell packages, which frankly I'm not a big fan of. This guy comes in a more ultimate style package. So you can see we've got like the poster artwork here on the front, King Kong fighting Godzilla. You've got chaos in the city, and then on the back we have got product shots that showcase the figure, his accessory, and then a little bit of a write-up on this particular version. But being in, you know, quote-unquote ultimate style packaging, it has a front flap. So pop it open and you've got a shot of Godzilla going through Tokyo here, and then you've got the figure himself along with, you know, his accessory there in the big window. So presentation in general is just ramped up with this figure. I think they've done a great job, that this was the best way to go with this line because I like these boxes. So let's do it. Let's pull this guy out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our newest Godzilla figure from NECA Toys, the King Kong vs. Godzilla version of Godzilla, which is the 1962 King Goji Godzilla suits. One of my personal favorites when it comes to suit designs. It is a classic among Godzilla costumes. So this one is one that's making me very happy right now. And after watching this review, if you want to snag one for yourself, head on over to Big Bad Toy Store and pick one up. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And frankly, I think this might be the best NECA Godzilla yet. And that says a lot because I've really thought that the game Godzilla, the video game NES Godzilla, wasn't going to be topped for me just due to sheer nostalgia and the fact that I really like that figure. But this one is absolutely doing it for me on a number of levels. So let's take a look real quick at Articulation and see what this guy can do. He's similar, but at the same time kind of different from other Godzillas in very minor ways, but he does move around pretty decently. So you have got a head that can go up, and it moves with the neckline, so the neck goes down, the whole thing, so he can get him to look basically entirely down. You have rotation at the neck, you've got rotation at the head itself. You do have a hinging jaw there as well. The torso does rotate, but it only goes so far because of the plates on his back, not to mention the sculpt, the design. Arms go out a bit. You can see they go out just a little, not too far, and then they rotate. You've got a single jointed elbow. You have hinging wrists, which is new, and then you've got rotation, and of course you've got a finger articulation there, finger hinge. You've got legs that go out, and they kind of rotate around in that socket, and then you've got a single jointed knee, and then you've got a rocker back and forth rotation on those ankles. Of course, the big thing, literally and figuratively, is the tail with this guy, and it's a little different because it doesn't really have a rubbery tail. The other Godzillas, most if not all that I can recall, have a wire in a large chunk of the tail. This guy does not. This back part is a little bendy, but it's not really a bendy wire tail. So you've got rotation here, and then you've got rotation where? We've got rotation here, here. Can't see some of these cuts sometimes. Here, you've got rotation here, and then we've got rotation here, but then they all bend. So instead of it being like one big long bendy wire portion from, say, here back, you've got different ball jointed areas which allow you to move. And frankly, I like this a lot more. I'm not so keen on the bendy wire tail. It's nice, but I just like this. It flows really, really well too. Like, you can't see too much about any kind of joint segmentation there either. So I'm really happy with the change in this regard. I'm not upset about that at all. And I really do like the added wrist hinges there as well. It really helps this figure out. And overall, I just think he moves really nicely, and I don't have any gripes about this guy. Now, as far as the sculpt on this figure goes, I've done some checking against my other Godzilla figures just because it has been a little while since a non-Shin Godzilla figure has been released. I wanted to see exactly if anything was different or similar across them, and I'm not really sure that this guy shares any parts with other Godzilla figures. If somebody knows for sure, please let me know. Obviously, correct me if I'm wrong. But when I checked them out, the scale design differs quite a bit, which they should, because this suit, again, is unique. It's only used in one movie, and then it's sort of featured in the movie after it, which is the Mothra movie, because it was used as a stand-in. So it's not it's not something that should exist elsewhere, really. This suit design is pretty unique because of the scaling texture on it, not to mention the fact the spines that run down the back are also a little different. Of course, the head is really what's different on this figure. But overall, as far as the body goes, not to mention the fact that I think the tail is really nicely done with the new joint system that they're using. We've got some paint that runs down the spine. I was curious if this would react to blacklight, and it doesn't seem to. I was curious if it glowed in the dark, because it certainly seems like it could. But then you've got that nice sculpt on the tail there. It does hold its shape really, really well thanks to these joints that are in there. And then, of course, just all the scaling that runs down. You, of course, have got some shading throughout that skin tone. It's kind of subtle, but it's definitely there. And then you've got the kind of fingernails, the spikes on the toes for the toenails are painted up, and just everything about the way the design of the scales look. It's fantastic. It all flows very nicely together. This Godzilla's kind of chunky, and he's got these humongous like thunder thighs down here. So everything about this suit, you know, is very nostalgic for me. This isn't one of my favorite Godzilla movies by any means, but this is one of my favorite suits. It's something about this one that just really does it for me, and a lot of that comes in from the head, and I think NECA has done a really, really good job of translating this particular Godzilla head into figure form. He's kind of got this wide mouth, and he's got a kind of a shallower head, but it's also, you know, it's kind of shallow up and down, but it's elongated a bit. He's got this nice big furrowed brow. You've got those bright yellow eyes with the black pupils in there. And then, of course, the mouth on the inside is fully painted. You've got two enormous rows of teeth, you've got a tongue in there, painted gums, the whole 9 yards. So everything about the figure is nicely designed, nicely decoed, and it fits in really well with the other Godzilla figures while also simultaneously looking very unique in regards to what NECA has offered so far. For accessories, we do actually have one accessory this time. Most Godzillas didn't come with them. The 2001 Godzilla does come with a Atomic Blast variant, and that one does come with an Atomic Blast, and that is what this guy comes with as well. So we've got this big blast effect, and I compared the two, and they're surprisingly not the same sculpt. This is different. It's got more of like a fireball type of end on it, and of course the paint job is different. The other Godzilla's is blue. This one is white, which matches the movie, so it's clear with a white over paint on it, white over spray. It does have holes on the top for the teeth, so you can kind of clamp the mouth down on it. I have not been able to actually get it to go far enough back into the mouth to make that work, but it doesn't seem to matter either. So this guy has got a hole in the back of his throat, and basically you just jam this sucker right down in there, and there you go. He's good to go. So that's pretty much all you do. And I mean, this is the iconic thing for a Godzilla figure to have. So I couldn't have really asked for too much more. I'm just really glad that this figure comes with one by default rather than there being a variant version down the road. So overall, this is a winner for me. There's really no other way to describe it. From the box being a just fantastic looking Ultimate style box itself, to the figure being a great sculpted and painted piece, which is definitely one of my more favorite Godzilla designs, to having an accessory which is definitely kind of outside of the norm for most of the NECA series, there's really nothing to complain about with this guy. I really like the way he looks, I like the way he moves, and I just like the whole package. And that's really what it comes down to, is that the package as a whole is definitely kind of top tier when it comes to the Godzilla line from NECA so far. And if this is what they're going to be offering from here on out, and it certainly looks like that's the way they're going with all their Godzilla stuff, I think we're in for a really wild ride as they're going to kind of revamp this line and give us everything that we've been wanting for a while in new and different types of Godzillas. So I'm very much looking forward to what they have coming down the pipeline, and this is a great indicator of what's to come. So that's going to do it for this look at the NECA Toys 1962 Godzilla figure. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.